Let's look at two word problems that will be solved by using the system of equations. In this one, it says you can buy 4 pounds of shrimp and 3 pounds of scallops for $80. You can also buy 5 pounds of shrimp and 2 pounds of scallops for $75.50. And the question is saying how much is it for 1 pound of shrimp? So that's our question. So we're going to set up this system. In order to do this, we're going to declare our variables. We're going to say let x equal the shrimp, and that's just because it comes first in the equation, in the problem, and let y equal our scallops. So here's our variables, and now we can go ahead and solve this. So 4x plus 3y equals 80. And because the second one has a decimal, if you want to keep it cleaner, you can just add the 0.00. And then the second part of this says 5 pounds of shrimp and 2 pounds of scallops for $75.50. How much is it for 1 pound of shrimp? Well, there's different ways of solving this. We are going to have to multiply both of these by a coefficient in order to eliminate one of the variables. I'm going to go ahead and choose to eliminate the y's, which will eliminate the scallops and will give us the shrimp, only because our numbers for the y's are smaller and we won't get such large values on the right hand side. So when we do this, okay, I'm going to multiply this first one by -2. It's only because I choose to add these instead of subtracting. And this one is going to be multiplied by 3. This way, because we're going to get -2 times 3, which is -6, and 3 times 2, which is 6. So the y's will cancel out. Alright, so when we do this, this is going to, we're just going to bring this over here, so we're keeping our work neat. So this will, we're going to use our distributive property for everything. So -8x, -2 times 3y is -6y, and -2 times 80 is -160. And then 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6y. And then 75.50 times 3 is 226.50. Alright, so as we do this, these will cancel out. -8 and 15 is 7x. And -160 and 226.50 is 66.50. We're going to divide both sides by 7. And when we do that, we are going to get x is $9.50, meaning 1 pound of shrimp, cheap shrimp, is $9.50. Wanted to highlight that a little bit more, it didn't quite work. So let's, if you needed to also find the value of the scallops, just substitute in. So I'm just going to pick one of the equations. I'm going to say, so now find y. Remember, you always want to keep this neat so that if you're going back and checking to see where you made your mistake, you're not getting all frustrated. So again, just pick one of the equations. I'm just going to pick the top one. 4x plus 2y equals 80. 4 times 950 is 38. Plus 2y equals 80. Subtract 38 from both sides, we get 2y. It's supposed to be 3y. Sorry. I figured that'd be very expensive scallops there. 3y equals 42, and y is 14. So this is saying that 1 pound of shrimp, which is what our question was asking, it was asking for the shrimp, is $9.50, and our scallops are $14.50. And there's not a whole lot of room right here, but I'll try to add this in. Put this in a blue. If you wanted to check, which you do, I'm just going to put this right here. Check. Okay, so 5 times 950 is 4750. I just know that. 2 times 14 is 28. And you're asking, is this true? And yes, it is true. 7550 equals 7550. So checking this, and for the lack of space, I just went ahead and did the math, but I know that I did it correctly. This does check out. So the answer to this one is 950. The second example is much easier. This says the sum of two numbers is 64 and one number is 3 times as large as the other number. What are the two numbers? Let's make that to a question mark. All right, so in order to do this, we're going to again declare our variables. So we're going to let x equal the large number and y is going to equal the small number. So now we're going to set this up. It says the sum of two numbers is 64. Well, sum means addition. X plus y equals 64. One number is 3 times as large as the other number. Well, we know that our large number is x. So x is 3 times as large as the smaller number. So now we know that x equals 3y. So now we are just going to do a simple substitution. So for x in this first equation, we are going to put in 3y. So we're going to say 3y plus y equals 64. What did we do? For this x, because of this, we put in this value right here. So we just substituted in. All right, continuing on to solve this, 3y and y is 4y. 4y equals 64. Divide both sides by 4. 16. So our small number is 16. So our large number, two ways of solving it, and they're both correct. I'm going to just use the first equation. So now we're going to solve for x. Let's circle this so we know that that's one of our answers. X plus 16 equals 64. Subtract 16 from both sides. Get 48. And to check it here, okay, so check with the other equation. It would be x is 48. Does 48 equal 3 times 16? Well, yes, it does. 48 equals 48. So that's it with word problems for using systems of equations.